Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we are continuing our journey to help VR gamers get the most out of their headsets in 2022. This time, it's with a list of over 20 free games for PCVR and Quest that you could jump into right now. Now, as of May 2022, all of these games are free, and the vast majority are expected to remain that way for the foreseeable future. We'll be separating this list by genre, so everyone can easily find what they're looking for, and there are, of course, links and timestamps in the description. But before we jump in, this video is brought to you by Kiwi Design, one of my favorite sites for VR accessories. They just released some brand new Quest 2 hand straps that'll give you that Valve Index feel and allow you to completely let go of the controllers. They also have plenty of other accessories like controller weights for those of you who work out in VR, cable management systems, and my favorite accessory, their super durable and extra comfy Quest 2 Elite strap. There are links down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so we're starting off with VR's most popular genre, the first-person shooter. But before we get into it, I'm sure today's list will miss some great free titles, so let me know what they are down in the comments, or just let me know which one of these games is your favorite. I'm sure a popular response will be today's first game, Pavlov. Now, Pavlov is essentially Counter-Strike in VR. And I know I said the majority of these titles will remain free indefinitely, but that's most likely not the case for this title. So while time remains, go out there and download this game and jump into some amazing PvP action. Pavlov features a large array of realistic weapons and mechanics, and multiple different gameplay modes plucked right from Counter-Strike. Overall, it's a high quality and highly addictive shooter that everyone should try. Now, if Pavlov isn't your style of shooter, we also have Gun Raiders. Mechanically, this title plays more like Unreal Tournament, and the overall VR immersion is upped with the ability to climb and use a jetpack. There's multiple unlockable weapons, and your standard array of PvP game modes. So if Pavlov is a bit too grounded or realistic for you, go check out Gun Raiders. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a free PvP shooter to recommend for PCVR players, but there is an excellent free shooter experience that carries over into our next category, which is horror games, and that's Propagation VR. Propagation VR features beautiful graphics, a horrifying environment, and plenty of creatures to mow down. At its core, it's basically a wave shooter, but the horror element is really strong here, and overall, it's just really easy to recommend. But if you're looking for straight horror, our next title is Polar Dread. Polar Dread is basically a fan-made version of Five Nights at Freddy's. So you can expect freaky-looking animatronics, camera screens that you need to keep an eye on, and plenty of jump scares. Now, this title is still in development, they're adding new mechanics and levels, but if you're looking for something similar to Five Nights at Freddy's and don't want to spend any money, this is the game for you. Now, we have another title that's going to blend over into two categories, and that's Shattered Lights. At its core, this is an atmospheric horror title. However, it was made back in the days when everyone was scared to use free locomotion in a VR title, so it's a full room scale experience, meaning this game turns your play space into a virtual environment, and from your personal experience, it'll look like you're continually moving, traveling from room to room via an elevator, but in fact, you're actually just pacing around your room. Now, Shattered Lights does this while maintaining an eerie horror atmosphere, but there are other room scale based titles, and the first one is TraVRSal. TraVRSal has you moving through a series of game hubs, but again, you are doing all the physical walking. Featuring non-Euclidean geometry, you'll constantly be walking into new environments that won't make sense from a three-dimensional aspect, but allow you to continually move forward in your virtual environment. It's a truly trippy experience, and while TraVRSal does a great job, I recommend T for God even more. It adds roguelite and additional shooter elements, and feels much more like an overall game. Again, it's extremely trippy, featuring that non-Euclidean geometry, and that carries right into the extremely interesting enemies and environment that you'll be navigating. Even if this game doesn't end up being for you, it's an experience that everyone should try at least once. Now, speaking of games that might not be right for you, our next genre is social applications. Now, I know there's a huge stigma associated with that title, but these games are not just about going out and talking to people online. There's just so much more to do, and there's a reason why they continually boast the highest player counts of any VR title out there. First on the list is Rec Room, which has been going strong in VR for 6 years now. There's everything from battle royale, go-kart racing, laser tag, paintball, to even building your own worlds and adventures. There's a leveling system, a huge amount of unlockables, a huge player base, and an insane amount of content to consume, both official and unofficial. Now, I personally slept on Rec Room for years because it looked too kid-friendly, but I guarantee it's fun for all ages. Now, another title I slept on is VR Chat, and that's mainly because it leans so heavily into the social elements. But VR Chat has some of the most freedom you will find anywhere in the VR industry. The amount of user-generated content, including worlds, built-in games, and avatars, is just absolutely insane. While VR chat might not be for everyone, I completely understand how this title can suck you in, and it basically becomes your new life. Now, if the building aspect of VR chat entices you, you're probably going to enjoy Neos VR even more. While it doesn't have the same popularity as VR chat, there's just so much more overall developmental freedom here. People are developing some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen in VR, and I even took part in this amazing meta movie experience where I took on the role of a live action character and everyone around me was an actor. To date, I'm yet to experience anything else quite like this, and these things are more than enough reason to just jump in and have a look around, even if you don't think it's right for you. But if you want to bring it back to standard gaming, our next genre is racing titles. First up is the single player title V-Speedway, which allows you to take on single races, time attacks, and even a free ride mode. There are competitive leaderboards, and you'll be driving through small cities while utilizing realistic driving mechanics. It kind of makes you wish you could plug a steering wheel into your Quest. But our next title is a kart racing game, so you're going to want to keep those hands free. Touring Karts is very similar to Mario Kart. You're racing on some wacky tracks. There's a wide array of power-ups you can use against your opponents, and this game even gives you multiple different viewpoints if you are susceptible to motion sickness. Now, it should be noted that there is a free and paid version, but they are the same overall game. The paid version just includes additional content. Now, if you want to slow things down, we have the puzzle title We Are One. We Are One is part shooter, part time loop madness. You'll have the unique ability to reset time and create a copy of yourself, but it becomes essential for your copies to work together. So basically, you need to be your own best teammate, and there's no one left to blame but you and you and you and you and you. Overall, the game scores lots of points for uniqueness, but there's plenty of other standout elements. Now, if the idea of playing with a bunch of your personal clones doesn't excite you, let's jump into a bunch of online competitive titles. First on this list is basically one of the only true VR esports out there, and that's Echo Arena. Echo Arena is rugby meets Rocket League while floating around in outer space. It is undeniably fun, but the skill gap can be quite intimidating. If you have that esport type of mentality, you absolutely have to try this game. But if you're more casual, maybe just try and get a couple friends together. Echo VR is constantly getting new season updates, and there is a ton of unlockable content. Now, if you're not really into the whole competitive scene, you could jump into gym class, which is basically just a fun opportunity to shoot some hoops. Join up to 8 people in a regulation-sized gym and practice your shooting, passing, and even dunking. The main goal of this title is to give you a realistic basketball experience, no matter where in the world you and your friends may be. But if basketball is too realistic for you, why not become a gorilla in Gorilla Tag? Featuring some intense cardio-inducing mechanics, Gorilla Tag is just absolutely crazy. The skill gap between beginner and veteran is absolutely insane, as initially you'll struggle to just move at all, but advanced players can move with grace that would put a true gorilla to shame. The game is not a looker. You basically just run around and chase each other, and the online community can be quite toxic, but for some reason, plenty of people are still addicted to this game. So go ahead and jump in and find out if it's right for you. And that same sentiment carries right into our next title, Cards and Tankards. Even if you're not looking for a VR trading card game, I do recommend you at least try Cards and Tankards. I personally never played any games like Magic the Gathering, yet I found myself addicted to this title. There's a great community and strong social feel, plus a huge amount of cards to unlock and strategies to develop. Overall, it's fun on both the casual and competitive level, and I highly recommend you check it out, just like our next title, PokerStars VR. If you enjoy playing cards but don't have anyone locally to play with, PokerStars VR will definitely scratch that itch. There's plenty of additional elements like props to help extend this game's appeal outside of just card players, and they've recently added new games and casino-style elements. So basically, if you have any interest in playing cards whatsoever, this title is a no-brainer. Now, if you're looking for as much depth as possible, our next genre is the MMO, but I am stretching that title a bit. A Township Tale is an MMO-like. It features many of those MMO elements that you really enjoy, but not that same online world that has you randomly stumbling into 100 people. Now, it's free for PCVR players, but it is $10 for those on the Quest. If you enjoy MMOs that focus on crafting and exploration, then a Township Tale is right up your alley. But if you're looking for some more overall action and adventure, let's move into our next genre. On the action side, we have Battle Talent. In many ways, it's very similar to Blade and Sorcery, featuring physics-based combat, but you'll be fighting against creatures rather than people, and exploring a series of trap-filled dungeons. Overall, this game is developing nicely, and if you're not willing to spend money on Blade and Sorcery Nomad, this is an excellent free alternative that will give you some of the same action. Now, if you're looking for some more adventure, why not take on the role of Harry Potter? Okay, cringe, moving on, but if you wanted to visit Hogwarts and practice your wizard skills, a Harry Potter VR game is worth checking out. Overall, this title is currently just a sandbox, but it features some unique elements like voice-activated spells and the ability to explore Hogwarts. The developer is hoping to expand this into a much bigger game, but as of right now, it's just a fun distraction for some Harry Potter fans. And in very similar fashion, we have some mini games to check out. First up is the undisputed king from Valve, The Lab. Now, this title was created when the HTC Vive launched, and it was a series of mini games meant to show off the capabilities of VR. To date, it is still absolutely fantastic and worth jumping into. There's an excellent bow-based wave shooter, you get to meet Gladys up close and personal, explore space, and much more. 6 years later, and every single one of these mini games is still worth checking out. On a similar note, you should check out the Spider-Man experiences. Now, yes, these were basically just small tools to help promote the upcoming movies, but both the Spider-Man Homecoming and No Way Home experiences are worth checking out. Now, Homecoming is pretty much a tease, but No Way Home gives you much more freedom, and you get to jump off a building and swing around a city. That experience alone is worth the price of admission, which also happens to be free here. So even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, go fire this title up. But if you're done playing games, why not try the creativity app, Gravity Sketch? Gravity Sketch allows you to 3D paint to your heart's content. Just like any other art-based platform, there is a learning curve, but as you master it, you'll be amazed at what you can build. Drawing in 3D also delivers a freedom that you just cannot get on flat screen. But if you're not looking to work hard and hone your skills and just want to sit back and relax, there's a series of entertainment apps that you should have installed. If you have a Netflix account, it's a no-brainer to install this on your Quest. You get your own personal VR room to watch Netflix in, so you won't be fighting over the TV in your house, and no one will know what you're watching. Unless, of course, they check the Netflix account. So if you're supposed to be watching something as a couple, don't go on there and stream cheat. Now, the same exact applies for the Amazon Prime account. You could jump right in there and watch any of the movies or TV shows you have access to. Now, if you want to make your viewing experience social, then you have to check out Big Screen. Big Screen is everyone's favorite VR movie theater, and you can do everything from watching YouTube or movies together, or sharing your actual PC screen. I've spent plenty of hours watching movies with my community in this app, and everyone should have Big Screen installed. Now, if you'd rather explore the world all alone, you should download Google Earth VR. It basically delivers this godlike perspective and allows you to jump across the world in mere seconds. Now, that might not sound interesting to some, but I do recommend you jump in, check it out at least once, and see what you've been missing. Now, on the topic of missing things, I want to hear down in the comments what free games I missed that you recommend, or what your favorite title on today's list was. Now, that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.